What's up, guys? Welcome to the channel. I'm Craig. We're going to be going over the Dow Jones and Bitcoin. Things have been pretty boring lately in the big picture, but we're going to take a look at what's going on, where I think the markets are headed. Remember, none of this is financial advice, but I've been looking for this for a long time. I still believe it is yet to come, which is the biggest money grab in history. Should you get in the markets here or stay out or get out? That's the question. What I'm doing, I've been out of traditional markets. Don't plan on getting back in for a while, and I'll show you what I'm looking for. But anyways, let's talk about it a little bit. So this was when the Fed dropped the rates 50 points, right? This is back in 1990. As you can see, this is a daily chart. So about a week or so later, it really dropped pretty hard for almost I don't know, this was about 6 months or whatever, right? But then we look at, and this is why when they lowered the rates 50 points, I said I think it was a panic move, because usually what happens after that, as you can see, and usually the day of is very volatile, right? You can see that back here in '01, and that topped a few days later, actually a few weeks later. Actually, this one was January 2nd to, so this was about 2 months later when it topped, but you can see what happened there. But we're more like the 2008. Remember, 2008 was a housing bubble, and like I've said, this crash I think is going to be a lot harder. It's more than just a market bubble or a tech bubble, it's an everything bubble. So let's take a look at back here, right? So this was back in '07, right, when they lowered rates 50 points. It's always a panic move, in my opinion, guys. And I don't know if it's so much a panic move, but I already think they know what's going to happen afterwards, and they're making money off this stuff, guys. They run these markets regardless of what companies are doing or anybody's doing. It's all about the charts, in my opinion. They're playing the charts. They're making a crap ton of money, taking money from people, right? And this one coming is going to be huge, in my opinion. So many people think that's impossible. Guys, it's a market. They're going to take the most amount of money from the most amount of people. Period. The end, right? So this was our 50 point basis drop right here when they dropped it 50% or 50 points in '07 September. I topped out in October, kind of like right now, and you can see what happened afterwards. It was a long, nasty, drawn out drop. And down here, if you were around in 2008, everybody had their 401ks. That back here, they were talking about how much money's in their 401k. Everything's great. Well, all them guys lost like 50%, right? And you're talking about people around retirement age. So it took a long time to recover, right? So that most of them didn't even get to see that. But anyways, let's look at where we're at now. So this was our last, when the Fed lowered the rates right here, right? We had this peak right here. We've been watching this trend line. We got above, but weren't able to open and close a candle above. So unless we open and close a candle above this 42.5, right? If that happens, then I start looking for this end of this fifth wave here. But again, as of right now, I would be out or short unless you get above this. Actually, this last week here, about 42.6. I wouldn't play in traditional markets at all. And I'll show you why in the bigger picture. But what we have also talked about, if it does get up that 42.5, I think this is nothing more than an ending fifth wave diagonal with a big drop coming. If it dropped the same as it dropped in 2008, would be somewhere around the 54%, and that'd get you down to about 23,400 points, right? 15,600 points if it dropped the same as like 2001, right? But anyways, I think this is going to be much bigger. I do think this is a 100-year cycle, and that doesn't mean it has to be 100 years to the dot, right? That would be pretty sketchy of them. But anyways, so if you just look at the market pattern, I'm a huge believer in market patterns. It's made me a lot of money, even in the smaller time frames. But if you just look at this pattern, it's almost the same. You have this big, huge rally up. This is the Dow Jones, and then it staggers in here for a while, and then you have a big drop, another push up, And we've seen that in Bitcoin also. So the big drop, people get scared, they sell down here, it raises back up, they get back in, they start pouring money in while these guys just dump more. Instead of continuing to dump at the lows, right? They let everybody get excited and let it go back up so they don't have to sell it so low, they can sell it higher. And they do this multiple times all the way down. Before we get into Bitcoin, if you guys are interested in trading, the sponsor of the channel is Prime XBT. Awesome exchange, guys. You can trade traditional markets, gold, silver, oil, S&P, Dow Jones, everything all from one exchange. If you use my link down below, it will bring you to this page. You can get 20% deposit bonus. So whatever you deposit, 20% on top of that, up to $7,000 bonus. Also, you can get 20, is it 20 or 30? Let's see, 25% discount on your trading fees by using my link. So I also put out every once in a while, I'll do some random letters and numbers that'll be a promo code for you to put in on Prime XBT. So you don't even have to make a deposit, just have an account set up. And when you put that in, only the first person to use it gets it. But you put that in, you get a $200 bonus that you could trade and keep the profits off of. So let's take a look at, here's the moon, guys. I do believe this is where the moon sets. And I do believe that's most likely where we're headed. Although I've been talking about it for a long time. It could make one more high up to that 80, 76 to 84,000, somewhere in that range, if this is a distribution pattern. But we'll take a look at that. So here is another market structure, right? This was the dot-com bubble, Amazon. You had your three peaks, and the second peak was just barely above it, just like we have here, and continuation down. They don't have to be candle for candle, guys. It's about the structure, right? You had your high down here, right? And then you had your low up here, which didn't go quite as low as the high. Same thing. You had your high here. Your low didn't quite come down to here. Yes, it doesn't look the exact same. It's not going to. It's a structure, right? Here's the main part. You had your three highs. Next, you should come down and break this and come down to the real support level, which is around 3,500 to 9,700. Not saying it has to happen, but that's a very good possibility. Like I said, biggest money grab in history, right? So if you guys watched my last few videos, well, way back here in May, right, I told you to watch this zone for the short zone. We've still remained below that. Also, on the last two videos I had talked about right here, this was way before it happened, right? I told you this was a good spot to look for a short, 66,368. Boom. If you hit that, you nailed it. And I told you to put your stop losses as it came down. So depending on where you're at on that trade, if you put your stop losses at break even, you could just ride it out and you won't lose money, right? People don't understand that about shorting, right? While everybody else is waiting for it to go up, you can make money while it's going down. If you learn to trade, have some patience, get a strategy that works, you can make a whole lot of money in just a few trades a year, really. But anyways, we'll see what happens here. Right now we're at the 200 EMA. This is the 4 hour, and that's about 61.8. If that holds, then we could go up. Remember, I told you there is a possibility to get up to here. And why did I do that? All that is using the fibs, looking at this as an ABC, right, with a 1-to-1 extension that gets us to that 66.4 range, which we hit, right? Then the higher number up there, that 69, lines up with this top trend line, but also could be this, looking at this as an A, B, and then this being a C. Whoops, not that. This being the C, right? Let me turn that one, let me make that one white so you can tell the difference. There you go. So that's why I said there's still a possibility we get up to the 69.7 range. And actually, if it happens over here, it'll pop past this trend line. It'll probably get everyone super bullish, being a huge stop hunt and continuation of the downside. But again, it doesn't have to go up there. This could have been it here. And if you look, this has been a very boring market since over here, right? It's literally just sideways. But like I said, if you shorted in these short zones, you would have made a lot of money here, here, and here. And what I've been talking about for the last couple weeks, this right here, if you got a short there, you're in profit. Put your stops in profit now. If it goes up above and you're in Bitcoin, right? So let's say it stops you out. Well, that comes back up. You're made money in the short. So if you're if you're using Bitcoin to short, right? So let's say you got X amount of Bitcoin, you're shorting it. Your amount of Bitcoin goes up. The dollar the dollar that it takes to buy goes less, right? So you get more Bitcoin. And then if it comes up, it stops you out and keeps going up, then your Bitcoin's being worth more, right? You look for your next point to short and ride it down and keep collecting money. If that makes sense to you, you got a brain. If it doesn't, well, I wish you luck. Hoping on your $100,000 Bitcoin. Let's take a look at this too. This was also a chart. I told you when we broke this, usually at least $10,000 drop every time one of these trend lines is broke. And I told you it is possibility to come up and retest this. Although I don't think we'll retest this trend line, right? If we do, we could go quite a bit higher. But again, as you can see here, we retested it, but it's usually fairly quick if it's going to retest. Over here, we didn't quite get up that high. Where was the other one? There was another one I was looking at. Oh, right here. Once this broke, obviously, same type thing we're doing right now. So if you are in a short, I would stay in it, put your stops in profit. If you already got stopped out, look for another short. As of right now, I wouldn't make a move in this exact spot. My opinion. Doesn't have to be yours. You can get in. If you're a day trader and like to sit on 15-minute charts, have at it. I'm not that type. I don't like to sit around, stare at charts for my whole life. So here's that possible 82 range, right? And I'll show you why this would be a possibility. But again, I don't think you're going to see no $100,000 Bitcoin, right? You hear that every bull cycle. Last bull cycle, you had guys calling for $500,000 Bitcoin, blah, 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 blah. Same type crap every time, guys. Biggest money grab in history this time, though. I think this is going to be a lot worse. Like I said, this is going to be all markets. Since Bitcoin was created, the stock markets have been in a massive bull run, right? 2008. Straight up. Obviously, it had corrections, but I mean, this was a huge bull run. So, crypto, Bitcoin, has never seen a traditional bear market. If it does, if you seriously think that Bitcoin is going to hold up in a traditional market crash, you are absolutely nuts. It is a high-risk asset. Them are the first ones people try to get rid of to cover their losses on everything else. So be careful out there, guys. I can't stress enough to be careful in these times. If we do get this last push up to this 74 to 84 range, if you are still holding any Bitcoin, I would definitely at least take out the profit from whatever you put in, right? Just be careful out there, guys. Things are going to get ugly, in my opinion. Could the market go a little bit higher? Like I said, over here, yes, we still have some possible higher numbers. But again, we have to get above and open and close a daily. So even if we went up here today, that wouldn't count. But if you open and close tomorrow's up at above that 42.5, I'd look for the 44.2, 44.5 range. And I do believe that will end up being ending fifth wave diagonal. Now, in most ending fifth wave diagonals, the fifth wave within the fifth wave diagonal does not have to get up and retest that trend line. A lot of times people wait for that and they miss out because it just plummets, right? So I might make a video tomorrow morning, not sure, and I'm going to be busy up until Sunday. But I promise next week I will get out at least 3 to 5 videos a week after that. I'm trying to get back onto a schedule. I've kind of been just doing my own thing and other crap, but I definitely want to get back into this because I believe this huge move is coming and we're going to make a ton of money and get out of this sideways range. So thanks for watching. Make sure you smash the thumbs up. Leave your comments below. And again, I'll leave a tutorial on that Prime XBT up here. Check that out. And I'll see you in the next one. Take it easy, guys.